Okay everyone, welcome back to the channel for another video on Gran Turismo 7. We're racing at Brands Hatch for Daily Race C from the back of the grid. Now this race was taken from Monday, so if you've already seen this, you'll know what to expect. An absolutely brilliant race. We've edited this down into a shorter video just to make it a little bit more exciting for you. Added in some replay cameras and stuff like that. So yeah, let's take a look at this race. I'm driving the Megane Trophy. Now the Megane Trophy is one of the stronger cars for this race. There is also a few other cars you can use for this, the Swift, the Genesis, but yeah, my strategy is the Megane here, starting from P14, and you can see straight away P13 I think here decides to not defend. He just wants to get us past and then he can run his own race, so he's going with that strategy. Now we're starting on the medium tyres and we're going to have to do one lap on the hard tyres because you have to use the hard tyres in the race. You can do a hard tyre no stop in this race. It is fractionally slower, however it depends on many things, whether it's slower, you know, traffic and stuff like that. But I'm going with the medium strategy and we're going to try and fight our way through the field because that means more excitement for you lot watching. So yeah, if you do enjoy these videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that like button and let me know in the comment section what you thought of it as well, if you enjoyed the race. So we're going to go through this position here. We see a gap where P11 makes a gap there. Don't think that other Megane saw me coming through because there was a gap there. P11 made it, we were side by side, and I think he just turned in without even knowing we were there. But clean move, we're through, up into P12, and now we've got to see if we can catch up to the other cars in front of us. Go into the replay camera, you can see just how close. There's two little battles going on here. We've got two Meganes in front of us there, you can see. Going into that corner, very risky place to overtake, and then we've got ourselves battling with the other Megane in front of us. We've got a car going off the track there, you can see him going off on the replay camera, and then we're going to see him in the background into the barrier, and that is pretty much his race done and dusted, because this track, it will punish you. One mistake and you are in trouble. But we're going to keep putting pressure on this other Megane in front of us there to see if we can find the way past. It's Mickey DeWhite. Let's see if we can go through on the inside. Not really an opportunity to go for a move there, so we're going to try and get a stronger exit from the corner. We've got two cars in front pitting. They're going for the one lap on hard tyres, and then they're going to do the rest of the stint on the mediums, which can work. It all depends on traffic. It means you're going to have to overtake people again, but we're going for the medium so that we can try and build the gap up. Now we go up the inside there. Again, we were side by side. He doesn't really give us much space on the apex. I think that was a fair move. And now we're through into P8. So gained a few positions there and going okay at the moment. We saw behind us there a bit of an aggressive move behind us. I think into the hairpin though, there was a bit of a lunge. But Infinity puts himself up to P9 as well. And we're going to fast forward the action as we catch up to this next car. You can see gradually closing in on him over the distance of a lap. We're not too far behind now, just 1.4 seconds behind. So we're just creeping into that slipstream range. However, he's going in the pits, and I noticed straight away that guy is going to get a penalty because his left tyre went completely over the white line. So he'll have a 3-second penalty when he comes out the pit lane. So up into P7. Lap times are not particularly great at the moment. This was Monday. Weren't really warmed up on the track. We're obviously doing 29.2s to 5s to 6s in the race now. But yeah, on Monday, it was a little bit sketchy, our pace. But you can see we've managed to catch up to P6 now in the Alpha. Now this is another car that's pretty okay for time trial, but when it comes to the race, doesn't really have the fuel consumption to compete in the race situation. But you can see he's putting pressure on P5, and we're going to be trying to put pressure on the Alpha. So working our way through this section, this is where the Megane is particularly strong. It's very strong through these corners. You've got to be careful though on these curbs at Brands Hatch. I'm sure many of you watching this video right now will have already spun on some of these curbs this week. They are lethal. Some of them are glitch curbs as well, so some of them there's not much you can do about it. If your tyre hits it and it's just hit at the wrong angle, with regards to the way it is, you can do it 2 times exactly the same, and 1 time the car can spin. It's very, very strange. We saw it in the World Series with Baptist at Watkins Glen. He had a glitch curb as well on the previous event that they showed, I think before the one they just did. But yeah, many tracks have these glitch curbs, and Brands Hatch is one of them. So working our way through here, a bit of an aggressive move up the inside there. Now that opens up a gap, and we end up just clipping him. We didn't mean to do it, but luckily as we clip him a second time, it actually straightens him up, so he's back on the left hand side of us there. So nearly ended up wiping that driver out. But yeah, P5 just sent it up the inside, pushed him wide. We weren't really going for that move, but we're going to take it because it wasn't really us that started that. It was the Alpha that started that with a rather aggressive move through the first corner. So yeah, apologies to that driver for the little bit of contact, but I wasn't really trying to do much there. We were just trying to take the corner. So working our way now in the slipstream with this Alpha. We knew we had to be a bit cautious with this Alpha because we raced him in a previous race. He was a little bit don't know if he was, I don't think he was dirty. I just think he was a little bit unaware, I think is the best word to say. So yeah, chat had warned us anyway about him in previous races. He's not the most aware driver, but again, I don't think he's dirty. But going into the turn 1 here, we see he runs a little bit wide. That's going to give me the inside line, and now we should be able to make it through into the hairpin. So we go up the inside there. He turns in on us when we're on the apex, but we're already on that apex, so that corner is ours. And now we can push on for P4. So up into P5 within half, not even half the race gone. So not too bad, but we've got quite a big gap to the leaders. You can see there, 7 seconds to P1, 8 seconds actually nearly to P1. So we're going to have to push on. We're now very, very close to the Swift in front of us. And the Swift, again, is another good car for this combination. You'll see some very fast times being done over the race distance with that Swift. But we can now see the potential that there's a podium position possible in this race, because we've got P3 not too far in the distance there. If we can find a way through like the Swift pretty quick, and then we can put pressure on P3, we're definitely going to be on for at least a podium finish in this race at Brands Hatch. So let's see what we can do. Working our way into this fast flowing section again. This again is where I love driving the Megane Trophy. It's always been a favourite of mine on Gran Turismo, GT Sport, GT7. It's just as good on GT7. Lovely car to drive. Rotates into the corners. You have to be aggressive with the car as well. You know, if you're pushing it, you'll enjoy it. It doesn't understeer like some of the FF cars and four-wheel drive cars. Really, really enjoyable car to drive. So through here, getting very, very close to the Swift now, into the braking zone. Again, with 2 attempts up on a reasonable lap done by Infinity there. So this lap was looking like a pretty good lap. However, we're going to be looking to go up the inside here, and we can't really go for that. So we have to back out of that and lose a little bit of time in the final corner. But we get a nice exit. Can we run around the outside? We're not going to be able to go around the outside there. We nearly ran onto the grass actually there and had to back out a little bit. But going to go for a move up the inside. Can we send it up the inside of turn 1? We go down the inside. And yeah, we managed to make that one working. Swift comes back at us. However, he nearly loses control of his car on the curb. I think he hit the curb a little bit funny and managed to save it. And we're up into P4. So now we have to see if we can push on for that podium position. We've got nearly 6 seconds to the leaders and into the lead driver. And we've not got many laps to catch this up. So we've got 2 cars as well in front of us. So, you know, it's all good. If it was just 6 seconds and 4 laps to go, yeah, we might be able to catch up reasonably well. But with 2 cars to overtake at the same time, that's going to make things a little bit more difficult. So we're going to have to do some reasonable driving, quick overtaking. If we want any chance of getting a win in this race, we're going to have to do some quick overtaking. So working our way again through this fast sector. Again, I say it all the time, I absolutely love this sector. Trying to see if we can get close to P3. We need to get past P3 as quick as possible. See, I'm doing a little bit of fuel saving here. Although I haven't been doing that normally. Now that I'm used to the track, it was just on Monday, I thought to myself, we can't overtake at this phase, but I know I can match the pace they're doing with mixture 2. So just save a little bit of fuel just in case we need it on that final lap to push, you know, to try and get a position. Save a bit of fuel when we can, and then back into the positions where we can try and get a little bit closer here into mixture 1. And you can see that fuel 4.2. It's actually looking pretty good. We've got 4 laps to go basically. So yeah, it's going to be 4.14 as we go over the line. So the fuel's looking reasonable. It's where we need it to be. We don't need to refuel at the pit stop. We don't know what fuel cars in front of us are going to have, because in this race, some people are driving it flat out, which is not the way to do it. You need to save fuel to stop the refueling process as you go in the pits. The reason for that is just because the process of it actually going to put fuel in costs you time as well as the time of the fuel going in. So you don't just lose 1 second, you lose nearly 2.5 to 3 seconds for putting 1 lap's worth of fuel in. And that's why I always say, make sure you don't do it. This car doesn't lose any pace. As we go for a move up the inside there. Nice move up the inside. We give space on the exit, and we're up into P3. So went for it, got the move done, and that was really important. But yeah, I always say, don't refuel on this one, because the Megane Trophy, it doesn't actually gain you much time when you rev it out. It's pretty optimal when you're getting just before the end of that rev bar. It's not far off in terms of pace. So yeah, you're not going to really gain anything by revving this car out and pushing 100%. But you'll gain a lot if you just shift ever so slightly before that rev bar. You'll see it when we're doing it on the straights, just shifting ever so slightly shorter, and that's going to help you massively. So now we're catching up to P2, who is driving the Genesis, I think it is, and this is another car you can use at this track. You do have to do a bit more fuel saving in that car. We go around the outside of him there as he's gone into the pits, and now we can see the gap to P1 is 4.6 seconds. That's a big amount of time to gain over 2 laps. But what you're going to see here is we're going to gain some on this in lap. You can see as we're coming through here, it's down to 4.2 now. So we've gained 6 temps on this lap alone. Now it's about 7 temps on this lap alone, nearly a full second in one lap there. And this is where you're going to see the benefit of making sure that you don't need to refuel, because he's 3.8, nearly 4 seconds in the lead there. He's going to have to put some fuel in. I don't need to put any fuel in, so bit of a dodgy pit lane entrance there. We actually lost half a second on the pit lane entry, and even with that, we've come out 1.3 seconds behind. And this is why I say, do not fuel up. You are better to just short shift ever so slightly, and you'll make it to the end without any refueling. You can see massive amount of gain by doing that. However, we're still a second behind. We're on the hard tyres. We're going to have to play this quite tactically. There's not going to be many opportunities to overtake at Brands Hatch, because Brands Hatch is one of the hardest tracks to overtake on in pretty much any game. Very, very difficult track, especially, we're on hard tyres. We've got 1 lap to go. We're going to have to find an opportunity and take it as quick as we can. So in the slipstream here, you can see we're going to short shift a little bit, because we don't want to go all the way on the revs. You see, just before, this car will do 121, I think it is in 4th gear. We're shifting a little bit early. Into mixture 2 through here. This was because I just wanted to save a little bit of fuel in this section, because I know for a fact that you can't overtake here. So we just want to get as close as we can while saving a bit of fuel, because we might have to have a drag race for the finish. So we're playing quite tactically straight away at this stage, using mixture 2, save a bit of fuel, and then when we need to use it, we'll have that fuel to get to the finishing line. So again, very close here. He goes defensive. P1 goes very defensive into that corner. I don't think that was a good idea. We weren't going to go for a send there, because it's not really a place to do it. And that opens up the opportunity for me to go round the outside here, brake as late as we can. We managed to brake nice and late, taking it in 3rd gear for a bit more grip through the corner, up to 4th gear. We've got the fuel to push all the way to the finishing line now. You can see shifting just before that end, not losing any pace. You see, with that little shift, didn't lose any pace. And we take an incredible win with an amazing overtake on that last corner, I have to say. That overtake was really enjoyable. 1 place to do it. We managed to do it, and we take a P1 from the back of the grid. So yeah, hopefully you lot enjoyed that video. I know I enjoyed doing it live. It was actually one of the most rewarding daily races I think I've done in ages, with that overtake at the end. So hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you all soon for more videos and live streams. Thanks again for watching, everyone.